Welcome back to another episode of A Shot of Weeb. This is episode 21.
21?
20, what, 9 plus 10. That's, man, oh boy, that was rough. Ooh, didn't like that. Okay. Anyways, welcome back. Just for doing that, I gotta take my shot now, so,
I've already eroded any and all trust that Seaweed has in me. I'm the Epic Wob, by the way, since you didn't introduce us.
Oh, yeah, and I'm the Seaweed Ambassador. God, man. That intro, it really messed everything up, I gotta say.
We are both an
that was bad.
Scramble today. It has been
a day.
Been a few days.
Been a few days.
I mean, for me at least, this is coming off holiday season as a freaking service industry worker. Holy crap.
Yeah, you had it rough. Yeah, no, I've had it rough in different ways, so...
Yeah,
let's take our shots.
Let's
buddy.
take our. Yeah, I'm going. I'm in.
Right.
Kampai. Yeet.
Kampai.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Really badly need to get my hands on literally anything that isn't vodka.
I think that's all you've really been drinking since you stopped drinking the mics.
It's all I've done except for one episode that didn't go live because all our audio disappeared.
Yes, that episode.
Because I had
the mysterious episode.
I had some Angry Orchard. It was a good day. It's some of my favorite cider. And I'm just chilling. And then OBS says, "Nah, fuck you." That episode's gone.
Yeah, it's gone forever. So all right. So this week it was my choice on what we watched.
Anyone who was here for last week immediately knows my predisposition towards this show. I had a pretty strong reaction at the end of last week.
You did. And it was all, unwarranted, I think. I mean, I'm sure I'll find out if it was or not. So the show we're watching is Mysterious Girlfriend X, or that we did watch.
I finished it 2 hours ago, I'll have you know.
I finished it 1 hour ago. I win. Haha.
You've got the freshest memory.
Oh no, I'm gonna forget stuff now, and it's all gonna be my
fault.
fault.
I should get my notes. They're over here.
Oh god, you forgot the notes.
They were sitting on my bed, okay? Screw you.
Oh god. All right. So, I don't know where to start with this one, except, I guess we start at the beginning, or, well, actually...
Let's start with the beginning or characters. There's only like 4 of them that we need to talk about.
Oh, well, before that, though, I did want to say something, because, the reason I chose this show, right? I've watched this show, or I watched it once, and it was a long time ago, right? I told you this, right?
Yeah, because this came out in 2012.
Yeah, it's an older show.
And it
this
has
is
a 69%.
one of...
Nice.
It does. It's one of those shows that I watched really early into my anime watching. Probably I if I remember correctly, it's like in my first 25 anime I ever watched. This show.
It's definitely not the case for me.
Well, yeah, clearly, but it's still in your first 100.
Okay, now that is a cheap shot.
Hey, I had to get it in there, okay? But so for me, this is a bit of a formative anime, not in the way that you think, okay? Not in that way. Oh god. So it was. I bought it on Blu-ray a couple years ago, I think, and
you won't
I just never got around to rewatching it. No, not really. But got it right here.
Oh, that's a good cover.
It's a very nice cover. I love the cover. Oh god, try to get no glare. There we go. So I watched it. I didn't watch it after I got it on Blu-ray until now, and I saw it on my shelf and I was like, that's the one. Wob needs to experience Mysterious Girlfriend X because it's a great time. It's a great time. So yeah, that's why I chose it.
I had heard of this show in the past. That's why I had the reaction I did. I can't for the life of me figure out which one of my friends showed it to me. I thought it was my boy Kyle, but he said it wasn't, so it may have been Jay. I don't know. But one of them was like, dude, check out this show. There's like some really, they did a lot of work animating the fluids in the show, and I'm like, wait, what?
He's not wrong.
And so having seen like one clip where that was the focus, I'm just kind of like, I don't want it. I don't want this.
Well, okay. Since you brought it up, let's talk about these fluids. Because it's not like, oh god, there's a lot of different fluids though, actually.
Oh yeah, go for it.
There's a couple. So the main one, and it's kind of like the running thing through the show, right?
It's the hook of the show, yeah.
It is the hook of the show. But basically, drool plays a big part in this, in this series. But also so do other bodily fluids. The other one that I can think of, the only other one that I can actually think of is sweat. And it's only from one episode.
Yeah, that was one episode, and there was a couple episodes where they're like, wow, you're crying.
Yeah. Tears did show up as well. But generally it's just the drool. And all right, again, we're going back to the place where Wob isn't going to understand the reference.
Someday.
But it reminded me someday. It reminded me a lot of Kiesniver. Because Kiesniver is this trigger show, right? And the whole thing is like their emotions are all connected. And the drool acts in a similar way, except it's not like always connecting them. It's
a Vulcan mind
It's
meld.
a way to see. Now you're into references I don't understand.
Hold on, you just dropped the ball on a Star Trek reference.
Yeah, I don't like Star Trek. Why would I?
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm sure you question every day why we're friends, how it came to this, but I figured it was Star Trek.
We'd go to work back in the day with our 0 things in common. Yes, I'm gonna make a podcast with this man.
Yes, that's it. That's the move. That's the move. But yeah. So we there's a lot of fluids in this show, and they transfer. They can do emotions, memories, like visuals,
dreams. That's
right, dreams. It basically anything that's up here.
All like, of your brain stuff.
Yeah. Which I thought was really cool. The first time I watched it, I was like, that's so like weird. I don't understand, but I was also at the same time like, that's pretty cool. I like this. Is pretty cool.
I thought for sure for a second you were gonna be like, that's pretty hot.
No, come on, dude. No.
I thought that's where that sentence was going.
No, it's not. Okay, look, my one of my friends actually on Annie List, he commented on me watching, and he just said, please don't get any unsavory fetishes from this. I feel like that is a possibility with this show.
That is a risk you run watching this, yeah.
It is, because, yeah.
There are 0 episodes where that doesn't happen.
That's true. Drool is in every episode. And it's actually the focus of the ED as well.
Yes. The ED that I skipped every time except the first one.
Yeah. Okay, look, I did skip most of the time, but that was due to time. I do really like the CD. It's a really chill, fun. Like, I had a lot of pretty images and stuff.
Yeah, the OP and the ED, in my opinion, were... they're all right. It wasn't anything outstanding, so I didn't make any effort to watch them.
You skipped the OP?
Yeah. I had to do 8 episodes today, dude.
Why did I agree to do a podcast with you again? God,
I
can't believe I'm doing something with an OP skipper.
I mean,
it was OP skipper.
It was chill, but I was 1, short on time, and 2, I mean, it didn't blow me away. It's not the kill OP where I'm just gonna freaking stand up and jam out all the time.
You finished 2 hours early.
I did. And I played World of Warcraft because I've got a lot to do in that game.
Oh, man.
I gotta level my mage, dude. I gotta level my mage.
Only bad decisions. Okay, I liked the ED. Or not ED, OP. It's nothing like crazy good, or I would say. Like, it's fun.
You've just said the same thing I did. You just said the same thing you gave me.
But here's the thing. I didn't skip it, buddy. I don't skip OPs.
I'm freaking elitist
so
over here.
That's what I gave you shit for. I didn't give you shit for calling it mid. It's not mid though. It's like it's fine. It's chill. It's not like in my top 50 OPs of all time or anything. But like,
do you just have a list sitting around of your top 50 OPs?
Well, I do currently, yeah, because we're gonna do show and tell in my Naruto group watch here soon. So.
Oh dear. Okay. Out of This is a detour, but can I know what the top 2 are? Like top 3? I'm curious.
Top 3? Yeah, for sure. Let me
yeah, go right now, man.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
This has nothing to do with the episode we're talking about right now, but I want to know.
All right.
The people need to know.
That's true. People need to know. Okay. So, my top 3 OPs of all time. Number 3. We got the Death Note OP2, the second one. It's so insane. Yeah, maybe if you finish the show.
No, I've definitely seen the second one. I don't remember it.
It's insane. It says, hey, ningen fucker. Oh, ningen sucker. And it's great. I love it so much. It's just insane, like heavy metal shit.
Oh, that's probably why I forgot it. I'm not a heavy metal person.
God, why do we do a podcast?
I have a feeling every
so
sentence I say today is gonna just cause you to judge our friendship even more.
All right, so my number two is the Samurai Champloo opening. It's just super. I believe it's Nujabes, but it's just super chill lo-fi hip hop with like really cool visuals. I love it so much. It's just, oh man, it always puts me in the right mood. And my number 1 is the Serial Experiments Lane OP, because you can't go wrong with that OP. It's such a banger, and you don't know it.
I was really hoping your top one would be one I knew.
Why? I don't know why you'd think it would be, but I do want to say on the record, my number 6 is the original Devilman OP. Devilman no Uta. It's a banger. Highly recommend.
I had to go back and do like my top 10. I've probably seen enough to be able to do a top 10 list.
You could definitely do a top 10. Yeah. But that's my top 3. So it's I love those. Maybe I will add the playlist to this video. We'll see. I probably won't.
I'm the one doing the video.
That's true. Maybe I'll send you the link for it. The playlist.
I will look at that link and judge it heavily.
Yeah, you won't know like most of them, so I'm fine. All right, well, let's get back on topic. 2, Mysterious Girlfriend X.
Oh, topics are overrated.
I guess. What did you just say? I'm sorry?
We don't use topics on this show.
That's true, actually.
We ramble until it eventually gets somewhere.
Yeah. Well, let's ramble into the actual show we're supposed to be rambling about.
Yeah, it starts with a dude. He's just a dude. He's this dude.
He is a dude. His name is Akira Tsubaki. Or Tsubaki Akira, actually. But everybody just calls him Tsubaki.
My brain gets jumbled when I hear Tsubaki, because I'm like, isn't that the like chill ninja girl from Soul Eater? I think that's also Tsubaki.
So. Yeah, the one who becomes like I don't know what the weapon's called, like the double scythes with the chain, like the chain scythes.
Yeah. She also does like ninja stars and like shurikens. Yeah, so my brain gets like wires crossed.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, this is an average guy. This is your average anime pro tag.
He's some dude.
Yep.
And then he's in class, and a girl shows up, a transfer student. She doesn't talk much, and she has hentai hair.
I'm glad you made the joke. I was going to make the same joke.
It's obvious joke.
Hey, look. This is why we're friends. This is why we do a podcast together. for this one joke.
It was like it's like the
yeah.
That's literally the first note I wrote on the show.
Yeah, okay. So basically, if you don't know what hentai hair is, the hair is covering her eyes, so she doesn't really have any discernible facial features. They do that in hentai to make you able to put yourself in that position.
It's the same thing with the sunglasses in the Matrix.
I'll take your word on it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's Urabe Mikoto. And yeah, she shows up and she's weird. She says like my favorite part from her introduction was like the teacher's like, "All right, well, do you want to give a word to the class?" And then she says yoroshiku, and he's like, "Oh, just one word." Okay.
Got it.
And then he's like, "All right, you're sitting over there next to main character Kun, Tsubaki."
And Tsubaki's like, "If you need any help, just let me know." And she immediately falls asleep.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I do really like about this show too, is that Tsubaki's chair is not in the back, far left corner of the room, against the windows.
That's fair. He's in a middle seat, isn't he?
Yeah, and the reason they do that a lot, I don't know if you knew this.
You've told me this on the podcast.
Okay, have I?
Yeah, I think it was during.
If you have,
I think it was during Sekikun. You lectured me on the main
that's
character
possible.
seat.
Okay. Well, if you haven't seen that episode, you don't know why. It's just to save on animation because you don't have to draw more characters behind. But yeah, so they have middle seats, so they have people surrounding them entirely, which is, I think, really shows the I don't want to say budget because that's not correct, but like what they were willing to do for this show, because it's a very pretty show. You know, it looks good all the time.
I'd agree.
Like, rewatching it, I don't think there was a single time I was like, oh, that character looks like, the model looks weird, or like that drawing looks weird. Like, even like when they're far in the background,
there's no background shadow people, thankfully.
There's no background shadow people. There's no CG, at least that I noticed, at all in this show.
There is definitely CG. I made a note on it, and it was one of my favorite things.
When?
All of the dream sequences, the dream sequence cities are CG, aren't they?
I don't think they're CG. I think they're just like they're not like 3D models. I don't think, because the characters felt in place.
Either of us. That's what I meant by CG. Either of us could be right there, but I legitimately think the dream sequences were CG, and I really, really liked it.
I really liked it too. But I don't know if it was CG. It very well could be. But it looked more to me like an After Effects thing that was done using multiple layers, and so like it's just flat images but like layers of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you realize you're speaking to the After Effects specialist here. I know.
That's what I know. I just want to make sure my terminology, who doesn't know After Effects, makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, I get what you're getting at, and I suppose it could have been, but I feel like it was 3D. Either way, it's one of those two.
Either way, it doesn't. It's not like there's no character models that are in CG.
Correct.
And they only use CG in the dream sequence as well. Like, as you know, apparently, as I don't know the right word. That's not the word I wanted to use, but whatever. I'm too drunk. But like it looks like it fits. Like the characters don't look out of place in the dream sequence. They like
they mesh really well.
Exactly. Yeah. So like even if it was CG, it's so well done. It's just, like, again, it's such a pretty show. Mm-hmm. So pretty. I love this show so much. At least the visuals.
So the story like ends up kicking off after class this one day. Oh, we also know she's weird because she busts out laughing in the middle of class. That's important.
Oh, yeah. And the teacher, the teacher's like, hey, why are you laughing in class?
And she's like, it was funny, but I can't say why.
Yeah, it's a little too personal. We do find out why she was laughing.
Yeah, she definitely couldn't have said that in class.
Yeah, definitely could not have. Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine if you were just like, okay, I don't like to do this either, okay? But just imagine you're back in high school and you get this new kid in class, and then they start to to laugh, and then I'm just gonna say it now. It's not like I think we're getting to it here real shortly.
Yeah, they tell us like in the next episode or something like that.
Yeah, in the next episode or something. But like, imagine you're sitting in class in high school, right? And then the new kid busts out laughing, and then he's just like, "Why are you laughing?" He's like, "Oh, well, I just heard a voice that told me that this kid's gonna be the first person I fuck." like, like.
But it's okay because we don't find out that's what it was until after they started dating, so it's chill.
That's true. That's true because she didn't really initiate anything.
Yeah, no, not really. No,
not
it
all.
was initiated by freaking Tsubaki being creepy. Tsubaki is creepy in a lot of this show.
There's a lot of points where he is really creepy. And I think some of it is because he's just like an awkward kid. Like some of the middle school stuff was just like more awkward, right? But there's also some creepy to it, like for sure. I mean, like, okay, so basically
the plot gets kicked off because he licks drool off a desk. That's being creepy.
Yes, that is 100% creepy. Yes, because Okabe falls asleep in class, and she is like, okay, or then he comes in to wake her up. To tell her, hey, school's over, and she's like, oh, okay. And she's been drooling on the desk, and she's like, all right, and so she bowed
Pieces
her head
out,
and she does, and so then he's standing there in this empty classroom with drool on this desk, and he's like, oh, that's weird, and then he puts his finger in it and licks it.
Yeah, and it was like a what's the word? A comparison. It was analog to the intro sequence, which is like, when a boy first learns about sex, he wants to know what it's like. And there was like this imagery of like nectar flowing out of a flower or whatever.
Well, it's not just he wants to know what it's like. He wants to know who is the first person who he's going to do it with.
Yeah,
which I don't know about you. Never thought that.
Not really. I don't leave my room.
Say.
I just sit here and play video.
Yeah, I've just watched anime for the past decade. I don't really think about that stuff.
You have done nothing else. No work, no school, just a decade of anime.
That's it, dude.
Oh man. How else did you get to 600 shows? Jeez.
It's 700.
I really need to get back into. I made myself a plan of like, I'm gonna watch one episode of anime a day outside of the podcast watching it, and I finished JoJo's Part 5 and then never did it again.
I can give you a good show.
No, I have shows that I'm halfway through that I need to finish. I need to finish Fire Force. I need to finish MHA, and I need to finish. I'm not going to say the third one.
Not to start any controversy on this podcast. You don't need to finish MHA.
I have been with it for like 4 seasons now. I need to finish it.
Yeah, I was as well. It's like
no, I watched the episode with the camera dude and then never got back to it.
The camera dude?
Yeah, he goes to the dorms and is like, haha, I'm sorry, I just got close to you, Deco, because I have a camera in my hand and wanted to take pictures.
Oh, that's episode 1 of the newest season.
Yeah, I watched 1 episode.
Yeah, season 4 is the worst season.
And I need to finish Fire Force because I got halfway through and then like stalled out because I think halfway through Fire Force is when Ishizuku started and I was watching that instead. Shut up, that show was jam.
I didn't say that I didn't wake up every morning before work on Sundays to watch that show.
I wasn't able to watch it until after work on Sundays. So I would get home.
I watched it.
I would get home at close at like midnight. My boy Jay would be playing Overwatch at his PC, and I'd go over to my desk right next to him and be like, dude, don't look at my screen for a bit.
I would wake up at 7 a.m. to watch that show before work.
Jeez, dude.
Well, I worked the morning shift, so...
Oh, yeah, you're one of those morning... That's right, because didn't I work, like, right after you left on Sundays? Because we still had the same job back then.
No, we did not.
No?
That came out this year, buddy.
That was... Wait.
Or last year, sorry, 2020. That came out 2020.
Well, Ishizoku... Yes. Yes, it was early 2020, but I was still at Sodexo, wasn't I? No.
No, you were not.
No, wait. This was I was already at. Am I allowed to say where I work? Is that like a thing? I was already at
big chain.
I was already at freaking Pizza Incorporated, which means I was coming home from work at 3 a.m. on Saturdays and watching this.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Because I don't think
You
I
were
worked
watching it the
Sundays back
next-
then. I work Sundays now.
Yeah, I don't think you did either. But like, so you would actually watch it before me, but I would watch it. I would wake up specifically so I had a good start to my day to watch.
You'd wake up like 2 hours
man.
after I went to bed.
Yeah, basically. Okay, but what's a lot has changed. It's not the same anymore.
I mean, I still
okay.
go to bed at 6 a.m.
All right. Well, okay. We got to save this for a different episode.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
We were talking about.
I have a note. I have a very important note. We see the inside.
Okay.
Of,
All right. Say your note.
We see the inside of Tsubaki's room, and he has a Star Mars poster.
He also has a 2001 Space Odyssey poster.
Yeah, he has a couple like sci-fi posters, but my favorite one is Star Mars.
I loved that poster. Yeah. No, he was. That's one thing I wanted to mention too. Like, because his room like told a lot about his personality, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was really into sci-fi movies. Like obviously Star Mars. Sorry.
Star Mars.
2001: A Space Odyssey. 2001: A Space Odyssey. There was another one on the wall. Yeah, Space Odyssey. There's another one on the wall. I can't remember what it was. I wish I would written it down.
I don't recall. I'm wanting to say Dune.
It was another
but I know
space.
that's wrong.
I think it was something like Dune. But that didn't really have a movie. It's more of like a book thing.
No, Dune
Dune
definitely had a movie.
Yeah, but nobody liked it, from what I understand.
I mean, my dad liked it, but I don't mean much. I hope he doesn't watch this episode.
Oh god. But then when we get later on in the show, we see Urabe's room.
Yeah,
and
she has her own theme.
She has like aliens stuff all over her walls.
Yeah,
and she also has this like UFO keychain on her bag, which is the first thing we see of her. Before we see her keychain as she walks into the classroom.
Yeah, she has this.
And it's just a really cool. I loved that, seeing this like bit of personality that like it means nothing to the plot.
Not at all.
You know, but it like fleshes out their character. It makes them feel more like real people.
Yeah, and there was one other poster on that theme that I noticed. She had a poster of Devil's Rock, which is from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Devil's Tower, sorry.
Okay.
That's Close Encounters of the Third
Yeah,
Kind.
see, I haven't seen that movie yet. I really want to. But
watched it once a while ago, and I was too young to really have interest in it. But I remember the tower because he makes it out of mashed potatoes. Don't ask.
I won't ask. But like seeing that kind of stuff, again, just kind of, it really lent to the quality of this show, I think, which is something like that, like not a lot of shows will do. They won't like put like different like they won't like add like personal items to a room.
You mean
it'll be like a generic room.
You mean like not like the character with the Gantz posters?
No, but see, that did add like personality in there. Like that was another example of it doing it right. And another one I can think of is like in Bleach. I know you're not going to understand, you're not going to know, but like on his walls and stuff, or like in his room, he has like a guitar. He has like some books, like it looks like some vinyls. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen his room. Like his bedspread is like a specific pattern, which is relevant, stuff like that. Then in the live action movie, we see these posters. He's got like a Black Sabbath poster. He's got like a bunch of just like harder like rock posters all over his room, which is really cool. It really like shows the personality of the character without and it doesn't have anything to do with the plot, but it just fleshes them out. And I love that kind of like detail when they do that.
I think Girls in Panzer did the same too, because we get to see the one of the characters. I don't remember the characters from that show. It's been like 2 months.
Been a while.
We get to see in that one girl's room, and she has like all of the tank posters and everything. I mean, I suppose that makes sense in a tank show, but still, she has like a helmet.
Yeah, but still,
stuff.
it showed like her like dedication and stuff to it. Like that kind of stuff is. I love that stuff. It really shows like that. like an extra effort went in, like to like this is animation, but like if it was like live action, that's like the set designer and things. But like also the director plays a part in that, you know, and the writer. I don't know how much the writer plays into that, but like still you can see that there was care put in instead of just a blank room, like just a bed and a bookshelf with like different colored spines on it.
Yeah, because it's almost like decorating things with hobbies is something that people of the anime age do.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Oh man, yeah. It's so I love that. I love that stuff. That it was such a, you know, those small details it really got me, and I recognized that stuff the first time I watched it too. And it's one of the reasons that like I was really kind of, I guess I don't want to say invested in the show the first time I watched it, but like I can't think of a better word. I've had too much to drink so far. Drink responsibly. We didn't say that at the beginning.
Drink responsibly. Do that. It's not. That is something we do. I was about to say that's not something we do, and I'm like, no, we do.
No, we do.
We know when to stop.
Yeah. So when I say I've had too much, it just means too much to think. I know when to stop. Don't worry.
Too much to think, but not too much to drink.
Whoa, hold up there, buddy.
I don't know what count you're on. I don't know what count I'm on because I'm not even using a proper shot glass, so I'm just kind of guessing.
That's true.
That's dangerous.
All right, well let's
get
into more of the show.
Yeah, we should touch the plot pretty briefly. I think we can honestly kind of skim the plot because it's vaguely episodic.
It is vaguely episodic, but there is also like lasting consequences, I would say. That's how I would describe it.
But we can talk about the main through line. Basically, after he licks the drool, which, by the way, my notes for that scene were spit on the desk. What's bullet point? Don't. Bullet point. No.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. Oh, God, I love that so much.
He has this dream about her. It's in the fancy dream city. I don't remember what the dream is. He has an assortment of them, but it's always about him and her being like together. And then like a week later, he's like super sick, and she comes by his house. Urabe comes by Tsubaki's house and is like, "You licked my drool," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yes, you did." And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Well, because he's been sick the past couple days. And, like, they think it's a cold, but, like, they're not sure. And so she comes by to drop off handouts, which is an important detail for later.
So she just busts into his room and calls him on it.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, you're actually just lovesick. And he's like, what?
And she's like, here, let me help. Sticks her finger in her mouth. And it's just like, open your mouth. And he's like, why? And she's like, do it.
Yep. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he sucks on her finger, sucks all the drool off her finger.
Magically, he's better.
And then he's better. Because he was only lovesick. Which, like, obviously, like, that doesn't happen. Don't lick drool.
Why did we watch this show in the middle of COVID times, dude?
Yeah, especially now, don't lick drool. Oh my god. But like, yeah. So then he's all better. He comes to school the next day, and they walk. I believe they walk home together that day, and he basically asks her to be his girlfriend. Or no, he doesn't. Basically, he does.
I don't think that happens for a few days because she's like, "Hey, you're gonna need to walk home with me so that you can have your like daily share or whatever."
That's true. They have their ritual, as they call it.
And then after a little bit, he asks her out.
Yeah, after a little bit, he asks her out, and she's like, okay, but you're going to have to, she's like, well, you have to prove that you actually like me.
This was interesting.
I really liked this bit. I'm glad you wanted to mention it, too. That's a really
creative, he picks a creative out here.
Yeah. Because at first, he's like, okay, well, I'll kiss you. And then she's like, that, like, anybody can kiss anybody.
Too basic.
Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, and he's like, oh, God, what do I do? And would you like to say what he does?
Yeah, as he gets the light bulb moment, and he's like, hold on, I got this. He remembers that he has a picture. This is one of those creepy things, by the way. he remembers he has a picture in his wallet of his middle school crush. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, you know, I was into this person for like all 3 years I was in middle school. I was thrown for a loop for that when he's like, all 3 years. And I'm like, wait, 3? Actually, wait, no, it's 3 for us too, isn't it? Never mind.
Well, okay. Okay, well, it's 3 for most. I only had 2 years of middle school because my school was weird.
I had 3 because middle was 6, 7, 8, wasn't it?
No,
I think so.
yeah, for you, yeah. Mine was just 7 and 8.
Freaking
I went to a
weirdo.
weird school.
I went to a weird school too. But either way, he's like, I've had this picture in my wallet the entire time, but since I've been with you, I forgot that I had it, and I don't need it anymore because I've got you, and just rips it to shreds. And she's like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. That was really cool. I loved that a lot.
That was a good out. That was, because she's like, I need you to do something that only you can do. It's like, yeah, that fits. Yeah. That works.
Also, I do want to say, I don't. So it's something I see a lot in anime. It's not something we do too much over here in America, at least. Well, at least that I didn't. But like, there's a lot of times where people will like sell pictures of other students, you know.
Yeah.
And that's I think
that
well, that's not how he got it, right? But it seems like more of a normal thing. I mean, like, of course, I keep a picture of my crush in my wallet at all times. Obviously, my crush is the Dark Magician. And so his card is always in my wallet.
Do I have any pictures in my wallet of anything? I don't think I do. I wanted to make a joke, but I don't think I have any. Like, what, my Kroger card is my crush, the Midwest grocery chain.
Oh, God. But like also I know like a lot of people, I think it was before 2012 and it was like the generation before us really, but like they would keep like photos in their wallet like of their family and stuff, like at least over here in America. But like it seems like a lot more prevalent to buy pictures of like classmates and like people you like in Japan. It's weird. It is weird.
I cannot speak
he also
to this
didn't
at
buy
all.
this picture. Well, I've seen this a lot in anime. I don't want to say like the culture as a whole is like this, right?
I've seen it in anime, therefore it is Japan.
That's true. Anime is Japan.
It's a one-to-one relationship, obviously.
Nothing will convince me otherwise. But like it seems like more of a normal thing than I think to us it would. Because, you know, we don't do that kind of thing. We also don't have, like, sports festivals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also, he took this picture in secret, which is also, apparently, in this show, how they get those pictures.
He took the picture in secret, and it is objectively better than any picture that has ever been intentionally taken of me. This face is not photogenic.
Yeah. Yeah, so he took a picture of this girl who, of Hayakawa, who, during a sports festival.
Is one of the 4 characters I wrote down.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's not one of the 4 I thought it would be, but okay. But yeah, he took this picture and, like, kept it in his wallet, and then he was like, I had this crush on her through middle school, but then when I get to high school, I still couldn't get over her, so I kept it in there. And then he said, like, I completely forgot about this picture once I met you or whatever. And then he just ripped it up. And it was really cool. It was very creative, like you said. It was a really creative way to show how much he did, like, actually care about being together with her. Because, you know, obviously, it's a bit to unpack. And then all of that, which we just did, I think, well, we unpacked it as well as our drunk selves could.
Well, I'm also trying to, like, keep moving because, by golly, we talked way too long last episode.
God, last episode was way too long, yeah. So, okay, so then, what happened? Okay, episode 2, start us off
We
here.
find
Let's
out
get
about
in-
her
let's get
scissor
into more.
magic. She has scissor ninja magic.
Yes. Which was like, when I initially saw this show, I thought it was going to be more relevant to the show. Because when I first heard about it and like saw it, like, I don't know if I probably saw it on forums or something, but I remember seeing scissors as like a big deal in the show, which
yeah,
is like,
and it also ends up being a bit of symbolism because, like, in the final credits, I'm jumping to the last episode here. What you know, you're getting spoiled in this episode, but like
spoiler alert,
the X in Mysterious Girlfriend X in the final credits, that is the scissors. That's the scissors standing upright.
Oh well, that's also in the OP.
Oh, was that in the OP? I'm blind.
Yeah, it's maybe because you skipped the OP.
Look, I watched it the first time. Shut up. That was 2 days ago. I had 3 days to watch the show. I had 3 days to watch the show. I watched 5 episodes the first day, and I'm like, okay, that leaves 4 over the next 2 days. And then the second day, I just didn't. I gamed.
That's fair. I watched all of it today. So
good lord, dude, how do you do that? I don't have that kind of patience.
Put it on and start watching.
I haven't been able to watch that many episodes in one day since the day I had a depressive. You know, that's not a good joke. That's not a funny joke. I'm gonna move on.
It was.
I went through a bad time in college and watched like half of Assassination Classroom in one day.
Yeah. All right. So, where were we?
Yeah, I derailed that one hard. I'm sorry. Scissor Ninja Magic. It doesn't...
Yeah, Scissor Ninja Magic.
I made a note that this episode would be cringy, but I guess it wasn't that bad because I don't remember what happened in it.
This is the one where he tries to hug her first, right?
Yeah, because that ends up being a thing, and this is a thing that develops, actually. Yes. It's like, if he tries to hug her, she'll, like, just, like, counter, like, dodge, and then scissors... Well, not always scissors, but she'll, like, counter dodge and be like, never do that without asking.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair. Boundaries. Boundaries, good.
Yeah. I was about to say, I liked that about her character, too. Because, like, I don't like to be touched by somebody that, like... Or, like without, like... Consent? That's not the word I want to use. There's so many words in this episode I don't want to use, but it's the only thing I can think of, right? But, like, I don't want to just be touched, like, without being asked. That's the word... That's the word I was looking for. It was just the word asked. I couldn't think of that word.
I don't know. I'm not around people enough for that to be an issue. It's not like my coworkers are very get-togethery.
Yeah.
Not that we have the time to.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, I liked that about her character, though.
Yeah.
It added more depth to her than I think a lot of, like, romance anime do.
I remember the thing I was going to say earlier. This is
say it.
Unrelated and mildly dumb, but holy crap. Urabe has, like, the best voice. I like her voice. It's really good. It's not like the high, annoying anime voice that every girl ever has.
Yeah, no, she has, like, a deeper voice.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was really nice.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know the anime girl voice. The voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This isn't that.
And apparently, I just looked it up. But, like, it looks, according to AniList, so this could be wrong. I haven't looked anywhere else, but this is the only role she's ever done.
Really?
Yeah. And that's a shame, because I wish she was in more stuff, because I love her voice. She did a great job.
So it would seem.
Voice acting.
Wait,
we're talking about Yoshitone Ayako.
Is there an OVA for this? This says a second listing.
It does. I didn't know there was an OVA. I'm gonna need to watch that after. It's not on the Blu-ray.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to definitely need to watch that after.
Oh wait.
I want to see how long this is actually while we're here.
What was that?
Oh, it's a full OVA.
The scissors, by the way, scissors that she does the ninja scissors magic, she keeps them tucked in the strap of her, like, panties. So there's some, like, egregious shots of that, like, whenever she goes to equip her weapon, I guess.
But, like, okay, but here's the thing, right? There's not that many. After the first episode.
Comparatively.
Like, there's really not.
I'd say
they never really show it.
It's like 6 or 7 times through the show.
But here's the thing, right? Because this show is definitely supposed, like, the viewpoint is, I think it's through the eyes of Akira or Tsubaki, right? It's like it's like his viewpoint of, like, the events, and as the show progresses, it gets less and less fan servicey.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is another really subtle and great way that they were able to show like that like this horny teenager boy. It definitely does.
There's literally an entire showdown in the final arc where the two girls are like naked.
No, but here's the thing. We'll get into that. We'll get into that because there's a thing with that. But like through his viewpoint, like the way the camera moves gets less and less horny.
Okay, I'll take your word on that.
Like because like in the first time that she does the whole scissors thing, okay.
Yeah, whereas later times she does the scissors, the camera stays like far back.
Well, also I need you to I don't know if you need to censor this or something.
Oh,
but it's something I noticed. Okay. It's something I noticed. It shouldn't be that bad, but there's more detail in the panties the first time than in the later times, because later on the focus goes away from the panties and goes to the scissors. The more she does it.
Okay, you kept the language clean enough. We should be fine.
I did. I really worked hard because I thought you might have needed to censor it because I was gonna say something different, but I remembered words. I'm smart boy tonight.
Dude, we're activating big brain mode. Big brain mode.
It's big brain time. Yeah, but like, so it gets less horny as the show goes on, which I really liked, and I thought it was more like it kind of lent to the development of Tsubaki's character, you know, where he like starts off like just he really likes this one girl. He had a crush on this one girl. He meets this new girl, and then I don't know if I can think of anything hornier than this kid licking drool off a desk of this girl he thought was cute.
Yeah, it doesn't get much worse than that.
It really doesn't. I mean, well, it gets worse, but not much hornier in an innocent way. We'll put it that way. I don't want to say anything else, but so I really liked the way the camera was done. The direction of this show. Hold up. I want to look at who the director was for this show because I never looked and I should have. But like it's so well done. You know? Like the oh my god. Ayumu Watanabe. That's who directed this show.
I thought you were going to need another moment than that.
Let's see what else he's done as director. He's done like a Doraemon thing.
I'm gonna speak for a second while you research, and you can come back to me with your statements, because I feel like, honestly, I feel like I can sort of just hit some story beats pretty quickly here and just get them out of the way.
Go for it.
Because I mean, aside from the scissors, there's other characters that matter. There is, I didn't write this guy's name down, but Ueno is like Tsubaki's best friend, and we find out that he's dating another girl named Oka. They're both kind of important. Oka becomes more important because she managed to be friends with Urabe after Urabe was like, I don't need friends. We find out by accident that Urabe and Oka can share the similar spit dream memory stuff.
Yeah. Like, they have a connection.
Like she and Tsubaki can. Yeah. Because Urabe gets like injured and then they share a soda and the injuries show up on Oka as well.
Yeah.
So they find out that's like a thing they can do. And so Oka ends up being kind of like, she ends up being the Ueno to Urabe. She ends up being someone being like, hey, if you were in this situation, try this. Or, you know, I know what you're thinking. It's probably this. So just so they have someone to bounce off of outside of the relationship.
Yeah.
And that skips us like skips us like 3 episodes, honestly.
It does. I found out what else he directed.
Yeah, what's this guy make?
No. Okay, so this guy has worked on the Ace Attorney anime. He's directed that. He directed the Space Brothers anime. And he also the main one that I thought was, he's directed some other stuff too, and he's working on a movie right now that's supposed to come out this year. But the big one is Koi wa Ame Agare no Yo ni, which is,
I understood
in English,
some of that.
Okay, it's Love is Like After the Rain, which I watched recently. Actually, it was a very interesting one. It had a big age gap to it, but it's another romance anime, which is why I think it's relevant here. And I can see his directorial style in this anime, but like it's man, he is a good director, because I also really liked that show as well, and I thought that the what is I for complete what's the game Ace Attorney. I liked the Ace Attorney anime as well. Thought it was really well
I need to
done.
finish the games. I have my DSi like somewhere on this desk. It's a mess. I'm like halfway through
I need
the
to
third
play
game.
them. Yeah,
I'm halfway through the third
I need
game.
to play them.
keep
I
not
have them
finishing
on I have them on my 3DS.
You need to finish Danganronpa already.
Shut up, dude. Shut up.
If you're gonna
But,
keep sassing me about Death Note, I'm gonna keep sassing you about Dangan.
That's true, but I can still keep telling you to shut up like you do with me to Death Note. Yeah, I loved his directorial style in this. And he was able to really flesh out all these characters a lot. Did I say what his name was? I don't remember if I did.
I think you did, but I don't remember it because my brain's small.
I want to say it again, just in case, just to remember it, but it's Ayumu, or it's Watanabe Ayumu, or Ayumu Watanabe. He, honestly, I'll have to figure out if I like this Watanabe better than the other one. The other Watanabe did like Space Dandy and Cowboy Bebop and stuff, which are like classics, you know. But like, this guy, I like this guy a lot. I really do, really do. I'm looking forward to his movie that I just found out about.
I would like to talk about one more episode, and then we'll need to go on our mid break.
Okay.
So we have the episodes also kind of have like a half and half sometimes. Like if the episode isn't all one thing, it'll be split in the middle. Yeah. And so the first half of this particular episode isn't particularly interesting. It's the one with the sweat, where she's like, "Oh, sweat has salt. It's like the ocean. Do you want to taste it?" And I'm like, "No, don't." And then they do.
But okay, but it like sets up later on like what happens.
Sets up later because the second half of the episode they make plans to go to the beach together.
Yeah.
So we get the beach episode. But it turns out she'd already been at the beach like the day before because she had gone to see like part of her family that lives at the beach. And we have we have a sequence that I really like, or rather a sequence that builds up to a payoff that I really like. They're like out swimming together, the two of them. And Urabe has like super, super, super tanned because she's just been at the beach. Like she tans hard.
Yeah.
And so she has like, she's wearing like a bikini with like a little skirt on. Just like,
I want to say that skirt is so cool.
it was really cool. It had a good pattern.
Like I would wear a shirt with that pattern or like pants with that pattern or something. It's so cool. I love it so much.
It was pretty snazzy. But they're out swimming and he's like, he like bumps into her like underwater and she's like, "What were you doing down there?" And he's like, "Oh, I was admiring the skirt. It's really cool." And she says, "Oh, I don't normally wear one, but I was swimming with my scissors the other day and it left a tan line." So she like opens it to show the tan like mark of the scissors. And he immediately like, you know, anime style nosebleeds and like swims off. He's like, "I'll race you to shore."
Yeah.
But then when they're when they're riding the bus back home afterwards, they do their like swap like usual. You know what I mean. And
the drool.
Whenever one character
Swap.
is like super I can't think of another word for it. I'm going to say aroused. Like it will when they do the spit swap, it'll like affect the other person.
It affects the other person. Whenever anything happens to the other person, it'll affect the other person when they do the swap.
Mm-hmm. And so
Exchange.
she like tries his. She get like on a whim tries his, and her nose starts bleeding, and she's like, "What were you thinking about?"
Yeah. Yep.
And the look she shoots him is okay. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Rabe is adorable.
Arabe's great. Yeah. Yeah. No. Also, like the whole man. Oh man, it's great. I love this episode so much because it says like a lot about both of their characters. Because she is like loves swimming and loves the beach and stuff. And I don't know if he actually does like the beach.
He was just looking for something
Honestly,
in common to do because they hadn't gone anywhere together.
They had never gone on a date. No. Because they would just like walk home together and stuff.
Because he was like super concerned at this point. He was having doubts because like although they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they hadn't done any like couples things at all.
Yeah.
Like he tried to hold her hand once and she just shut him down.
Yeah, she's like, it's not the time. Yeah.
Which was, I mean, it was odd because there was a stretch where I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, are you two like really a thing, or are you just saying it? Like there's no like actual indication here, but it does develop as it goes on.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the beginning it does seem like it's just a thing, and I think the thing that really changes that is when because he finds out, so Tsubaki, oh boy, finds out first that like that Ueno and Oka are in a relationship because he walks in on them kissing in the classroom one afternoon.
Yeah, as one does.
And he finds that out. And then he tells Urabe, and then he's like, Urabe, can we kiss? And she's like, well, first, hold this test tube. And like then she spits in the thing. She does some fancy maneuvers, then she like puts her drool in it. She's like, lick this before you go to bed tonight. And he does. And he has this like whole dream sequence where they do kiss. And he's like really upset because she kisses him like really like out of nowhere, and he's like, no, I wanted our first kiss to be like special kind of thing. I wanted to be when we had a connection. And then he wakes up and he's like, oh, okay, so I was just being horny. Like,
yeah, because then later they have a conversation where she's like, yeah, we can kiss if we like really want or whatever, and he's like, nah, we should wait. And she's like, correct.
Yeah, she's like, you get it now. Yeah, which is great. I like that a lot. Their relationship is really good, and the way that they interact with each other, I love so much. Mm-hmm. I really do. I don't. That was the end of that sentence.
That sounded like you were building up to something more. You're just like, nah, we good.
I think this might be a good time for a break.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, why are you saying that, dude? On the podcast, bro?
On the podcast,
Look, you gave me shit for that for so long. I have to piss bad, bro.
Why you say it on the podcast, dude?
Cause I gotta piss. All right. Well, we'll be back here shortly. Depending on what you're listening to. Whatever. We'll be back.
We'll return. Have fun. Welcome back to the second half of A Shot of Weeb, episode 21, where we're talking about Mysterious Girlfriend X. Over the break, you missed a lot of nothing. I squeaked my chair, and Seaweed fought with Origin Launcher. God,
I hate Origin so much, bro. Oh, man. I really do.
It might come back. We'll see.
It honestly, it's a very likely possibility at this point.
We're gonna be doing our outro like an hour from now, and it's just gonna pop up, and you're gonna be like, no.
That's exactly what our outro is gonna be. Yeah.
Just hard cut on the action.
Yep. Oh man. All right. Well. Before we get into talking about the show, we do have one more shot to take. This is a shot of weed. So, insert Peter Griffin meme. I just said the title of the show in the show. That's pretty cool.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, you haven't seen that clip of Peter Griffin saying, "Oh my God," he said the title. I can't do a Peter Griffin voice. He says something like, "Oh my God," he said the title of the movie in the movie. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm drinking.
Yeah, Kampai. Oh God, it hurts. I don't like shots of
I'm gonna do
rum.
that thing from last.
That's all I have,
that
though.
thing from last week where I just pour some of my Sprite in here.
Oh, man.
Finish off the leftovers.
Yeah. I'll take a sip of my rum and Coke. Rum and Coke is good. I really like rum and Coke, but like rum by itself.
You got rum and Coke. You got rum and Coke. I got Sprite and vodka. It's the yin and yang.
Well, mine is rum and Dr. Pepper. Because Coke actually sucks.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree on that. See, this is why we started a podcast together.
We started a podcast to make fun of Coca-Cola.
The mutual dislike of Coca-Cola. Oh, man.
Where do we leave off? We find out that Arabe can run.
We did not leave off there. That's new information for the podcast.
No, that's what we're on now, is we find out that Arabe can run.
Yeah, she can run fast. She got legs, bro. It's like that ZZ Top song.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like ZZ Top, she got legs.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's just titled Legs. It's a good song.
Oh.
You should listen to it after we're done.
I remember ZZ Top because one of the crime shows that my mom and I watched when we were little, one of the main characters' dad was played by the main guy of ZZ Top. If anyone in the comments can tell me which show this is, I would be so grateful.
Yeah, I can't. I gotta say, I can't tell you, but let us know. Because I would love to see one of the members of ZZ Top in a crime show.
Yeah, he was the bisexual girl's dad.
All right. Hey, there we go. ZZ Top.
That's all I remember about that show, by the way.
Oh, man. Hey, that's a perfect segue.
Because I remember being... Oh, okay, I'll stop it then.
No, you can continue. I was joking.
I was going to say, I remember being comparatively little and then being like, wait, why was she talking about both a boyfriend and a girlfriend? And then I got the talk where I found out what bi people were.
You realized that bi people had rights.
No, that's not what I'm...
Because they do.
I realized they existed because I wasn't familiar with the concept.
I understand. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, keep drinking.
My face red? My face looks red.
Keep drinking, buddy.
There I am.
Yeah, so she got legs. And she can run really fast. She, almost ties with the captain of the
Something
track
like
club.
that, I think.
Well, the person on the track club that she almost ties with is, like the best. I don't know if it's the captain, but, it's, the best member on the team. She's, the fastest.
She's the star runner.
So I figured she was the captain. I don't think they ever said that, though.
Yeah. I'll admit I wasn't paying the closest attention at this episode.
I was, yeah. But, and then she gets asked to join the track team, I believe. Is that this episode, or is that a later episode? Wait, no, wait.
It was this one. Next episode is the Woob's episode.
Because this is the sports festival episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so, the reason that she was even running at all was because they were trying to decide who would do what event.
Sports festivals sound unpleasant. As a very non-athletic guy, the concept sounds like a bad time.
So, okay, well, we had, I remember in middle school, we had, a sports festival, basically, but, it was different. It was just, a PE class it was, a special PE class or something. But, it was really fun. I really liked it, but I am also more athletically minded, I think.
You used to play football.
Yeah, I also am a run. I also do run. So
I mean, to be fair, I played baseball for a while. I sucked at it.
Oh, me too. I did play for a long time though. I was bad. I also hate the sport.
Yeah, you do. I remember one time. This is unrelated to literally anything. I was walking with a friend from college, just at 1 a.m. or something. We're walking down by the waterfront. On a random class day, and you come running by down the track, and I'm like, wait, was that John? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah, late night runs are like my favorite because it's so secluded everywhere.
Yeah, no, it was chill out there because like
Yeah.
me and the other guy had just gone to look at the lake, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, there's no way there's another human I know. I know very few humans. What is he doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was probably definitely me. Yeah.
No, it was you. I remember we stopped to talk. I shouted at you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I do. I remember now. Yeah. Yep, that was me. I can confirm.
So we're talking about sports.
Yeah, so she's really good at running. And so she becomes like the anchor for the baton. Is it the relay? It's relay, right?
It's a relay, but I don't know what the anchor means.
So the anchor is the final person. That's what that means.
You know, I know what anchor means. It's a platform where you can listen to our podcast.
Hey-oh! That's what we like to hear right there. We like to hear some shilling
And me
for
now.
our own thing. Yeah, listen to us on Anchor or YouTube or any other podcast platform that you use. It's great.
But then they ask Urabe to join the team, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
And then...
And the reason is because she likes her walks home with Tsubaki. Well, that's the reason, like, because like Oka talks to her too, and it's like, hey, you're really good. You should join the team, like, and stuff. And she's like, and then Oka is kind of like the one who gives the reason, but like it's clear that Urabe agrees. And like Oka, and then so we find all that out, which is really cute and adorable, you know. Because we didn't really, because like, I don't know, it kind of seemed like sometimes their walk homes were less like a couple doing something and more like just
It's a business transaction.
right, like yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, like just a ritual where they exchange or where she gives him saliva so he doesn't have the love sickness anymore.
Yeah. There's one bit of dialogue coming out that's important, but there's some setup. Tsubaki goes to put his shoes in the locker, and his name tag is missing off the footlocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they go to walk home, the two of them, which two.
Okay. Well, wait, this is after the sports festival actually happens, though.
Oh, did anything actually happen at the sports festival?
Yeah. So there's one, like, important thing that happened, or there's two. Or, well, no, there's one important thing. Two things that, one thing that I just want to mention that I thought was really cool and, like, really cute. Because, like, at this point, Oka and Urabe are, like, really good friends, right? And like Oka has realized that she can, or like knows about the saliva thing and can like get emotions. So she'll like a lot of times, stick her finger in Urabe's mouth to get saliva. But this one time, like Oka asks her a question. She says like it's something about like walking home with him. She's like, "Do you actually like walking home with him, or like is that why you don't want to join the track team?" And Urabe's like, "No, that's not it," And then Oka tries, but then like she stops her like this. She like clasps her hands.
I remember that. That was really good. She's like, no, not today.
Yeah, and then Oka takes her other hand, goes around to the side, and it's great. I loved it. Like like oh man, I love their friendship so much. And so like then she realizes, but then there's another time where like I know there's another thing that happened. Yeah. So it's when Urabe is running, and all the guys are like, "Oh damn, Urabe has some nice legs, bro." Because like how high school guys are, they're horny all the time.
Yeah, and Tsubaki's not exactly happy that that is the talk of the town.
Yeah, exactly. But then Oka, like I really liked how Oka was like, you could do it, Urabe. You can like let's go. You can win. And then Tsubaki yells as well. He's like, oh fuck those guys. I'm gonna cheer for my girl. And he starts cheering for her. And then like it shows like her, and then she doesn't blush because like Urabe never blushes, or like she does.
No, she does a few times.
Well, yeah, she does, but like it's really rare. That's what I meant by never. But and so like it shows a close up, and then she just starts fucking going, And one of my favorite parts from this episode, actually, or like in terms of like animation, actually maybe throughout the whole series in terms of animation, is like when she's like neck and neck with the person in first place. Like they're in a I think it's called a dead heat.
I don't know. I don't sports.
Yeah. But she's going, and like her body is moving so fast. Like you can see her arms like pumping really quickly and stuff. And like the girl beside her is like, she's like just close enough to the camera where you can only barely see her shoulders, but she's not, like, it doesn't look like she's moving as fast. So I always imagined Urabe as like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you've seen The Incredibles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how like at the end of Incredibles when Dash is like running and he like slows down at the end to come in second place. That's what I imagined this like. Like she's just going like supersonic speed, but like it's so good. I love it so much because like Urabe's shoulders are moving so quickly because she's like putting in effort, and this other girl is like not. It just doesn't look like she's not, but she clearly is. And obviously, Urabe ends up winning.
Could you imagine Urabe just like starts like all fours like Devilman running?
That would be amazing. Oh my god, I would love that so much. Oh god, that's what this show is missing. That's what this show is missing. Oh god.
She wins, and they go to walk home, and Tsubaki's like, "Hey, yo, don't hold yourself back 'cause of me. If you want to join the team, I'm okay being late a few days a week or whatever."
Well, like, he's like, because he's like, I think you should join the team because you're really good. It's not even like if you want to. He's like, I think you should, and he's like, we can meet like 2 or 3 times a week after school. I'll wait for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty considerate. You know, that's like a good thought from him, being like, hey, look, I don't want to hold you back. Mm-hmm. I don't want you ducking out of this thing that you'd excel at because of me.
Yeah, I love that. Like that shows character growth because I don't think at the beginning he would have done that. You know.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of this show is these two figuring out what points of like anything are like too far for each other, or like trying not to get in the way of each other still being people, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
because it's a really show about learning how to like work with each other.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
I dig it.
I do too.
But he's like, hey, you should join the team. I'm not important. And then she's like, here, take this, and just yeets. And he starts grinning like a fool. And she's like, no, that proves. What was the exact phrase? It's like, that proves you want my legs all to you or something like that.
Well, no.
That.
No, so what? No, she like takes some of his saliva. And she's like, "Are you?" Or no, she's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah."
Oh, and this is when she grins, because it's like his.
And then like she takes his saliva and she starts to like, grin and stuff, and she's like,
Which she doesn't do.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, so you're lying. You want me to be with you all the time." And then he's like, yeah.
And the reason she knows this, and what induced that reaction, was that the name tag was stolen by her, and she had like stuck it to her thigh.
Yeah, and she's like, these legs are all yours, baby.
I don't think it was said quite.
It wasn't said quite like that. No, that's a little bit of paraphrasing. But yeah.
Creative liberties.
Yeah. But she lifts up her skirt to show that she took his, because he mentions that his name tag was stolen from his shoe locker. And then she's like, yeah, well, that's because these are all yours. But she also just doesn't want to join the track team. And it's not, and I also like the fact that it's not just because of like Tsubaki that she doesn't want to join. She just doesn't want to join, you know.
She's just like, yeah, no, it's not for me.
Yeah, she just like, and I feel that like, I loved playing, like doing practices after school for football and stuff. I loved that so much. But also, like, I didn't, like, it wasn't necessary for me. You know, like during the spring season, because, you know, we don't play football in the spring. That's a fall and winter sport. But during the spring, I know you wouldn't know. But during the spring, I would just go straight home, and like I liked that break, and like it was a nice thing, and so like I understand not wanting to be involved in a sport, because I didn't want to be involved in a sport constantly. If that makes sense.
I understand not wanting to do physical exertion. Do I look like the kind of person who's run any time in the last 4 years?
Well, so what happened next? Wob?
We get a boobs episode that's not my jam.
Oh, okay. I really...
Actually, wait, no, there is one really cute sequence in this episode.
Okay, so I really liked this episode.
I don't like the premise of it, but there's a lot of good in it.
What? Okay, I want you to elaborate on that. What don't you like about the premise?
Well, because literally the first thing in the episode is he has a dream where he grabs the titty, and that's like his like driving motivation is he keeps thinking about that. Mm-hmm. And that like introductory bit, you know, feels a little weird. It's like, come on, man, move on. It'll happen later, probably. But he keeps getting like hung up on it. So I don't really like that. But then there's good things that happen in this episode. He goes on like a walk and like ends up outside this building in a part of town he's never gone to, and he's like, I wonder if that's Sarabe's house, as if. And then she shows up and is like, hey, why are you at my house?
Yeah. That was great. Yeah. Okay.
That was pretty good.
So I actually really like this premise, right? Because I don't know a single guy who hasn't thought about touching boobs in high school. Can you name one? Okay, well, let me take that back. Let me take that back. Let me say a straight guy who hasn't thought about it. Because like it's just something that I think like a lot of guys think about.
Are you just gonna be like? Are you leading into like this big like universal constant sort of?
Well, like okay, it is like a thing, right? Like high school guys, they talk about tits a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
let's be real.
I mean, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I like.
I'm not saying it's not plausible. I'm saying I don't like it.
Well, here's the reason I liked it, right? Is because it's like it doesn't say that it's like good or bad, right? You know what I mean? Like the whole episode, it just is a thing, which is why I like it. Because like if it said, yeah, it's good to think about touching tits all the time as a high schooler, that's a little to use some like Gen Z language. That's a little sus. But
you're too old for that.
Bro, we're in the gap. We count. Technically,
we're like half Zoomers, and I don't like that.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I like the concept a lot, especially so like when he goes to, or like when he's at her house and stuff. She invites him in, and then she like. I think she tastes his saliva and is like, hey, you want to touch my tits, don't you? Or whatever. Like, that's what your dream was about or something.
He's like, what? No.
He's like,
no.
No, dude. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. And so then she's like, okay. That's okay.
Oh, it starts storming. That's important. It starts storming.
True. It does. It starts storming. Oh, yeah. So it happens before... So before all that happens, it starts storming, and then like she goes out to get something out of her from like at like the kitchen or something, and then like a big thunder happens, and she trips.
The Big Thunder.
The Big Thunder. And she trips, and he catches her. And then, like...
And it's so cute.
It is. It's really cute. And then and this is where Tsubaki's, like, a bit of creepiness comes back in. Because, he's holding her, and he's, like, wrapped around her waist. Or his arms.
And I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, no, dude, you're having a moment. You're having a good moment. Don't mess with it.
But then he's like, this is my chance. And so he tries to grab the titty.
And she does like her counter dodge.
She does. And she's like, what the fuck were you trying to do there? And he's like, oh God.
I wish that was the actual line. That would have been very fitting.
Yeah, it would have been really fitting for her character too. But he's like, nothing. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, no. And then I believe she tastes his saliva. Is that am I correct in saying that?
I think so, because she's like, she pretty much figures out what it is.
Yeah, and then she's
I don't
like,
remember entirely all of the lead up, but it ends up with her being like, okay, you know what, you can go for it.
Yeah, she's like, okay, I give you permission, but you have
3 seconds. If you don't do it in the next 3, you lose your chance.
Yeah. And so, like, as right before she says 3, or like as she's saying it, he grabs the titty, and
and he's just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, he's it's really soft and stuff, but then and
then his brain just shuts off.
It does. Like no, yeah, his brain like literally shuts off, and then he pushes her to the ground, and this is when it gets like awkward, intentionally awkward though. It's not like awkward like
there's like because this is clearly being set up as like, this is the big no, this is problem.
Yes, yeah, and it's like clearly framed that way too, which I loved. Like,
yeah, this like in the middle of the storm. This is like super dramatic.
Yeah, it's like really dramatic, and then he starts licking her ear.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of see her. I think that's what
she's like reaching for the scissors.
Yeah, she's reaching. Yeah, that's it. She's reaching for the scissors, and she can't reach them. And then eventually she does get them, and then she lets them go. Because I think it's like I believe it's symbolizing that she's kind of given up. She's like, okay, I can't do anything against this, which like also, damn. Can we just say, this episode is like, I think it's really good at teaching guys like showing guys, not like teach. I don't want to say teach, but like showing guys like, hey, you have to like consent is important, right?
Yeah, and like he ends up like backing off because he notices that she's like started crying, and he's like, okay.
He's about to kiss her, which would be their first kiss, and then he's like, oh, and he sees her crying because she's like teared up and stuff, and like she's fully crying at this point actually, and he's like, oh, I fucked up. And he knows he
big
did.
time. And then he just walks home like in the middle of this like thunderstorm.
Yeah. And earlier in the episode too, he had said, "Oh, I guess this is the worst time for a thunderstorm because I can't walk home like this," too, which is like it. And this whole sequence, yes, it's uncomfortable. But it's intentionally uncomfortable.
This is their lowest point, and that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point of it. And he knows he fucked up. He's like, I can't. He's like, I can't do anything to make up for this. I'm gonna leave. Which, like, honestly, I think that's the best thing he could have done there. Is just to fucking leave. I can't think of a single other thing that would.
You remove yourself from the situation.
Right. He's like,
he apologizes and he just goes.
Yep. And because I think he's also afraid that he might do something else, too. Because it's almost like his hormones took over. I don't want to say instincts because that's not right. I think it's more like the hormones. Like his hormones took over because they are going through puberty. They're like, I think they're second years in high school, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right.
So like it's like mid puberty. Like, hormones are fucking raging. And so he goes and like, he's like, no, I fucked up. I'm sorry. And he's out, which, yeah, I mean, I don't want to, I keep repeating myself, but it's the best thing he could have done in that situation. And yeah, so he just walks home in the middle of this big thunderstorm. And so she's like left home alone. And it's just kind of there. And then I think what happens next, I think, is also really important. You know, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
I mean, the next thing I had in mind was when they meet up outside again. Was there something in between?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Like when they kind of discussed it.
Yeah. Basically, he comes up to her like, presumably like a full day later.
Yeah.
And was basically like, I fucked up, and I will not allow anything else until like you get back at me. And so he's like, this was my fault, my mistake. Fucking slap me.
Yeah. Like, go all out. Like, hit me as hard as you can. And the thing I really liked about this scene too, right, is because she's like, because she says something like, no, it wasn't just all your fault. And he's like, I don't care. He doesn't say like, because it's weird, right? Because like this, it's such a complex situation, I feel. Because he could just say like, yeah, you know, which is not correct. It's not the right thing to do.
He takes personal responsibility for this.
He does. He takes full responsibility. And he's like, no, I don't care. Hit me and like, or do something to where like because I don't want to do that again. He doesn't say that, but like that's like, I feel like that's what he means. You know, he doesn't want to ever be in that situation again. And so even when she says like, my slap stings, he's like, I don't care what I did to you.
He's just like, good.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, thank you. I'm glad. Give me all you got. And then she slaps him. And then the thing about this scene too, you know, is like, she's like, no, part of it was my responsibility because I said it was okay for you to do the initial thing, right? Which I don't fully agree with, and I don't think that Tsubaki agrees with either. Because, and like the reason I say that, right? Like that's a, I feel like that's kind of a bold statement to make, you know, but the reason I say that is because she takes, because it's been set up before that like if you it was set up with Oka because Urabe
with the injuries.
Yeah because Urabe got injured and then like exchanged saliva accidentally with Oka, and then Oka was injured in the same exact place, same exact way, and so Urabe takes Tsubaki's saliva and like feels the pain of her own slap because she's like, no, this is also partially my fault, and he's like, no, I don't like to see you like that, kind of thing, which again I think showed growth in both him, well, in him mainly, but like also like him saying like, I don't want to see you with any bruises was, I think, was pretty big, you know, because it again like it shows like, because I feel like the audience for this is teenagers, you know.
Well, it's anime. That's the audience,
right? Like that's like the main audience is teenagers. Like they're in high school, so it's like high schoolers, and so like he's like, it's a really good message, I think, because he's like, I don't like to see you like that, because she gets a bruise on her face from the slap, and he's like, I don't like to see that at all, because it's not okay for you to do that, but like for me as a guy, it is. Like it kind of has some gender role things, but like also whatever. Urabe subverts those a lot. I feel.
I think the last line of this entire interaction is they're like hugging it out, or no, I don't think they're hugging it out. It was something like that. Well,
no. It is because
it is.
Yeah, because Tsubaki takes Urabe's saliva like normal, or her drool, like normal, and then he grabs her, and then he kind of, after a minute, he realizes what he did, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to like do that. I know you don't like that. And she's like, no, I wanted you to. I was the one who asked for it. But like, she did it with her drool, and so like, but because of the way that this anime works, let's be clear.
This is specifically rules. Through the mind meld magic bullshit.
Yeah, she's like, I asked you to do this. This is what I wanted, kind of thing. And it shows them like, making up. I don't feel like that's the right term. It's the only thing I can think of right now, though. You know,
it's more like they come to a platform where like they acknowledge that like this has happened. We're gonna move past it and work to be better or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And the like final line is like they go back to a little bit of humor, and she's like, "I do have a good swing."
Yeah,
'cause she like feels that.
Yep, it's great. It's really cute. You know, for as cute as this whole thing could be, you know, I guess.
As like uncomfortable as this whole episode is, because this is them going through like the worst time that they have in this show.
Yeah,
I
would say so too. Yeah, I would agree.
It's just like this show does its job well. You want them to work through it. You're sitting there, I'm like, you're like, these two, they are good together. Y'all can make it. I need to drink. I'm out of drink.
Yeah. It's like they can get through rough situations, but also there's like give and take to the relationship. It's not just like, it's different. So like I feel like a lot of the stuff that our mutual genre, I feel, is harem.
Right? Unfortunately.
But like we have talked
about a few of those.
A lot of times in harem anime, you know, like the guy can do whatever. Like my favorite meme I've ever seen is like, anime girl or main character says, "Can I have salt? Can I have the salt shaker?" Anime girl passes salt shaker to guy. Anime girl, "Oh my god, he asked me to do something. I'm in love." You know, it's kind of like that thing. I feel like with harem, whereas this show is like, there's a deeper like relationship. There's like a relationship here, where like there's a give and take, and there's consequences when you fuck up, which is what happens in real life.
And I've seen very few of these shows, which it makes it feel a little extra good when I see one that does have that dynamic. And to be fair, again, it's because this isn't the like type of show I watch as much as I wish I did. I need to get into the genre more. This is one of my favorites. I just don't get around to it.
Yeah. It's I'm really glad that I revisited this show. That I chose this one, because there's a lot of stuff I did not pick up on the first time, honestly.
This is going to spoil a little bit of my thoughts, but honestly, given what little I had seen about this show in the past, I had pushed it way out of mind and probably would never have gotten to it, but I'm glad I actually did give it a go.
Yeah. See? I watch good anime, bro.
I'm going to ignore that statement. We've got one last story arc that I'd like to get into. Okay. We've got like 5 episodes left, but I'm just going to talk about like an arc, and then we need to get moving into the final bits.
We have 5 episodes, but we only have a certain amount of time, so
and so we're going to talk about like a segment of story that branches a couple of those, but like we're not going to go over to the other. Basically, so the girl from the picture that Tsubaki had, she shows back up.
Yes.
And is like, "Hey, do you want to date me?" And he's like, "What? No." And she's like, "Oh, that sucks."
Yeah. Well, like,
but then she doubles down.
Say before that, like, she had seen him on a bridge while he was waiting for Rabe, and she was like, "Hey, you want to go to a cafe and just like reminisce about middle school?" And he was like, "Sorry, I'm waiting for somebody." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well maybe later." And then she cuts her hair, which, like, honestly, can I just say, the biggest tragedy of this show is that she cut her hair so fucking short.
Yeah, because we find out that like in between those periods, she breaks up with her boyfriend and cuts her hair like in response because she's like distressed or whatever.
Yeah, and then she finds Tsubaki again. It's like, "Hey, can we talk kind of thing. It's like, hey, and then they go to the park and they talk and
They
then
have this like little heart to heart.
yeah, and she's like, hey,
Which
can we keep up these talks? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
one of the first things though is she asks like, "Hey, it's Tsubaki. Do you have a girlfriend?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Why would you say no? She's from a different school, so these aren't the people you're trying to hide it from."
I think he says no because I think they're trying to hide it just like in general.
I don't know. I still feel like it's really weird that he
Because
secret here.
well, I feel like it's a little weird, but I also think that Tsubaki and Ueno went to the same middle school together because they seemed like really good friends, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did because she also knows Ueno and not Aki. What's her name?
Oka.
Oka, yeah, because he makes a comment about like, do you remember those two? They're dating now, and so like, he rats them out.
Well, I think that's the reason why is because he doesn't want them to know, because he doesn't know that Oka knows. You know, I think that's the reason why, and I think also part of it is just also because he's used to saying no.
I guess it still feels weird to me.
It's a little weird, but that's why I think why at least. But yeah, so they have a talk, and then eventually she's like, "Hey, can we keep up? Can we keep doing these talks? Like, I would love to continue talking to you." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, as long as you let me taste your drool."
Which at first I'm like, okay, cool. You just completely demolished that friendship, and then she's into it.
Yeah, because she's also weird. But like,
yeah, no, they go like they swap stories at one bit where they're like, oh yeah, back when I had a person I was interested in, I like stole their coffee cup, and it's like, okay, yeah, y'all both are creepy. That's good to know.
Yeah, well, the first one is Tsubaki, where he's like, yeah, I was sitting behind you, and then like one time when you got up, I saw there was one hair that had like fallen out, and so I took it and then I put it in a capsule from a gacha machine, and then sometimes I would sniff it. Is that weird? And she's like, no, I stole a cup from a guy that I liked, and then I would like drink from the same place he did, so it was like an indirect kiss. And so she's like, that's not... But then also Tsubaki's like, no, that is really weird, because I think he realized that what he did was weird to Hayakawa. You know?
Yeah. It's still spooky.
Yeah. But so they had a whole thing, and then eventually he does say, like, no, I have a girlfriend, so I can't, like, take your spit. And she's like, oh, he's gonna get my spit.
Yeah, so she comes up with this plan, and she ends up, like, independently, she finds out Arabe's name through him, and then it goes and talks to Arabe and is like, hey, do you want to go to our school's culture festival? You should go because Tsubaki will be there. And then Arabe asks Tsubaki, like, hey, do you have plans on this day, the day of the festival? And he's like, nah, I'm hanging out with Ueno downtown. He lies to her.
Yeah.
There's a whole web here. Let me finish. Then Urabe and... Not Aki. What the heck?
Oka.
They're similar. I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up.
There's not an Aki in that show.
I know. That's what's weirding me out. I don't think I've seen a show with an Aki in it.
Yeah, I don't know where you would get that from.
But then Oka and Arabe go and hang out, and Oka's like, hey, have you heard of this culture festival? I'm going to be going with Ueno on Sunday. And so she, like, already knows that, like, everything's up. And then, independently of all that, Hayakawa? Is that her name?
Yeah, that's her
Hayakawa.
name. Yeah.
Goes to Tsubaki. She's rubbed dirt on her face to look like a bruise. And is like, I would like you to come to the culture festival and pretend to be my boyfriend because I don't know if my ex is going to show up again. And he's like, ask someone else. And she's like, no, you. And he's like, okay. So she, like, she's pulling strings, like, very badly.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, immediately after that conversation, she, like, walks away and then just rubs it off.
because she really wants Tsubaki to taste her drool.
Yeah, that's like all it is. Like, I don't think she's even that interested in him per se. Or no,
that's the whole thing.
Around.
That's the whole thing. We'll get into that.
It's a whole
at
thing.
The end.
But like, so he goes. He agrees. Lies to Urabe. All that. This is the bit that I messaged you and said I was getting frustrated. Was watching her like pull the strings and everyone just completely fall into it. And it's like no. Because in my brain I'm like, okay, here's the deets. Just be like, hey. I mean, it'd be an awkward situation, but I feel like you should, if you're in Tsubaki's shoes, talk to Urabe and be like, hey, this is the situation she's in. She's scared because of this reason, has asked me to do this. I plan to help her. Like, that's how my mind goes. But instead, they try to play, like, mind games and just dodge it from each other.
I think it's because Tsubaki doesn't want Urabe to know that she's, like... or because Urabe knows that he had a crush on Hayakawa, and like so him hanging out with Hayakawa is, he thinks, will make Urabe think like, oh, so he actually doesn't
that's exactly the thing, is he thinks it's going to lead to her thinking, he thinks it's going to lead to Urabe thinking she's bailed on her, but I'm like, no, bruh, communication.
Yeah, but see, he doesn't know that. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's still a kid.
Yeah, exactly. They're still high schoolers. So, like, that's how high schoolers work.
I mean, it's understandable in that, yes, that's what those characters would do. But by golly, me with, like, 5 years on this kid is like, no, it's stupid.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. For sure. But that's how they... It's very accurate. You know.
Mm-hmm. They go to the culture festival. It's a costume culture festival, and you see people in all kinds of different outfits. And one thing that I noticed, I actually caught this on the first try, even though I didn't know it was relevant. As you're seeing costumed guests enter the archway, you see there's one that like really stands out. Someone has like this cardboard robot outfit, and I'm just like, ha, that looks weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't really try to hide it that well.
Yeah, but you also don't know to look for it.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and it also doesn't really seem relevant at all, except for, oh, that's a funny outfit.
Yeah, because I've actually seen someone do an outfit like that. Did you go to our school's like grave rave or whatever it was, like sophomore year?
No.
They had like a costume dance in the gym, and I wound up going to it. I awkwardly stood in the corner the whole time, but there was one dude showed up to our school's dance in like cardboard boxes and like those like duct tubes as like a boxy robot suit, and I specifically remember like his arm fell off or something like halfway through a dance.
Oh god. Oh man.
It was fun, and so I saw that robot and I'm just like, I've seen this before.
Oh, nice. Yes, yeah. but the whole thing is like Hayakawa wants Tsubaki to pretend to be her boyfriend because her ex-boyfriend is going to be there when he's not at all. But she just wants an excuse to like try to get him to taste her saliva. So they're walking around, and then Oka is there because Ueno asked her to go, and so they're there together because this is like a famous cultural festival.
Yeah, it's like a big deal because, you know, Japan never has more than like 2 schools in it.
Right, exactly. So it's like a big deal. And so like they're going around, walking around. And then Oka sees Tsubaki with Hayakawa and is like, wait, that's not Urabe. And then...
This ain't right.
And so she follows him. And then...
wearing this like bright orange maid outfit, which is... super.
Yeah.
There's like a side thing that happens.
That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. We're not getting into it.
That we're not going to get into, unfortunately.
Yeah. Just watch the show. But so Hayakawa takes Tsubaki into, because Hayakawa is also, this important note, her costume is her middle school uniform with a wig on, so she looks exactly like she did in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hayakawa takes Tsubaki into this like classroom, this empty classroom. And has 2 of the desks set up like they would do it like when they were both on the committee, like the student, not student council, but like the class committee.
Back when they had responsibilities.
Yeah, back when they like, because they were both on like the class committee or whatever, and had to do paperwork together as middle schoolers. And so she was like, doesn't this make you think of middle school? They do this whole big old thing. And then she's like, hey, this is your chance. Go for it. Kind of thing. And Oka is watching them this entire time. And as soon as Oka's about to stop him, the robot comes in.
Yeah, and it's just like, hold, I got this. And Oka's just like, wait, is that Urabe? And she's just like, yeah, I got this.
Yep.
Like, ends up interrupting because, like, at this point, it's looking pretty clear that Tsubaki's just gonna, like, straight turn her down.
Yeah, because Hayakawa
Like,
offers her saliva, and then Tsubaki just, like, can't do it. He's like,
no, and she's like, you'll never know if this is better if you don't try it. And he's like, no.
Yeah. Well, he's also, like, kind of hesitant because he's a high school boy. But, like, also, it's not shown as a good thing.
But then Urabe comes in and is like, hold on, I could sort this out. And they're all just like, what? Urabe's here. Whoa. And she's like, here, I'm a blindfold. She puts a blindfold on Tsubaki and is like, one of us will give you spit first. We'll rock, paper, scissors to determine who it is. You won't know which one of us it is. You gotta guess which one of us is the correct one. Whichever one you choose is the one you clearly would have chosen normally. They do the Rochambeau, and I nearly said Tsubaki's first. Urabe's first.
Yeah.
And so she, like, feeds it to him, and immediately his nose just, like, erupts bleeding.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's
the
like,
worst we've ever seen.
He's like, this isn't fair. I know this is obviously Urabe, and Urabe is obvious, and I know this because she's not wearing anything under the robot costume.
Which she then cuts her way out of the robot costume, and that is exactly what it was.
Yep.
Because she had set herself up for maximum potency.
Yeah. Well, obviously. And then she says, all right, well, Hayakawa, if you can do better, then go ahead and get undressed. And then Hayakawa gets undressed.
Yeah, and he's still blindfolded.
Yes, he is still blindfolded.
Obviously. Because he's a good boy and isn't going to break that rule.
That's true. He will never break that rule. Yeah,
and so Hayakawa tries to, like, feed him, and he like looks towards the general direction of Urabe because he knows where the voices are coming from. He's like, "Are you like sure you still want me to go through with this?" And she's like, "Yeah, go for it." And he's like, "I don't like this."
Yeah, he's like, "Okay," but then before Hayakawa was able to, she starts crying, and then Urabe's like, "Haha, those are the tears of rejection." And
get dunked.
Yeah, get fucked on. And so then she kind of like says like, yeah, no, obviously you already know I've won and stuff. And they have a whole argument. Eventually Tsubaki like is like, or no, because Urabe tastes tastes Hayakawa's saliva. It's like, oh, it's so sweet. And Tsubaki's like, if it's that sweet, I want to try it. And then he shakes his head. He's like, no. And his blindfold comes off. And he sees both of them standing butt-ass naked in this classroom. And
as
he's
one
like,
does.
And then Oka comes out and it's like, hey, you guys know that his blindfold came off? And you guys are completely naked in the middle of a high school classroom. And that's about the end of that episode.
He gets 1-2 yeeted, and we're just like, okay, yep, he's dead.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he's knocked out. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it was great. I loved seeing it.
And the last 2 episodes are just kind of like writing out the end of it, because like I feel like that's where it like really peaks. We did get a really good sequence with like, so like Urabe is like starting to like really notice her feelings towards Tsubaki, because until she hugs him, her aim with the scissors goes like terrible.
Yeah.
Because like she tries to do the scissors thing because she's like upset about something. I don't remember what it is. but her aim's bad, and she like accidentally nicks him, and she like immediately is like, no, I'm so sorry, holy crap. She starts freaking out. I'm like, okay, good, there's indication that she actually cares, because she doesn't usually show emotion.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm like, okay, that's good, we know she's in on it too. Mm-hmm. And we also get like a side scene that Oka is like going crazy with the scissors, and so F in chat for Ueno.
Yeah.
He's just getting killed.
Ueno's a good boy, but like,
there's one other really wholesome sequence in this bit is like they're like together, because she takes Tsubaki to her house to like patch up his face, and like something happens that's awkward. She's like on her bed, and he like trips on something and is like, oh no, I'm gonna fall on her, I don't want that, she don't want that, I need to change direction. So he changes course and just like face first bashes into the bed frame. To which point I wrote the note again that, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
And she's like, why would you do that? And he's like, I didn't want to like fall on you, I know you wouldn't want that. And she's like, look, if it would, you're allowed to hug me if it would prevent you from being hurt. And just like pulls him in, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, it's adorable. It's great. I love it so much.
It's so good. I wrote they hugged in cursive here because it needed the flair.
I don't even think I could do that.
You don't know cursive? Dude, freaking first grade failed you.
No, I learned it in first grade. I just haven't used it since.
The final episode is just it's family stuff. We find out.
Yeah, the final episode was really, I liked it a lot, because he hadn't like told, like there was hints throughout the entire show, but Tsubaki never told Urabe that like his mother had died.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this whole thing. It's like the anniversary of her death. They go to the grave to like talk to her or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I want to give like respect to your mother and stuff." And so they go there.
There was before this. There was a whole sequence where like Urabe hangs out with Tsubaki's sister, who like is raising him. We haven't talked about her at all this episode. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge that Tsubaki's big sis is just like the best person ever?
Yes, she is. She's great.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's good.
She also has long hair, like the only one in this show.
Less relevant. She's a sweetheart.
She's
and
great.
One of the running jokes in the early episodes is he's like, I'm gonna go to bed. She's like, it's early, and he's like, I know, don't bring me anything. And she's like, oh, he's beating it.
Yeah, he's like, no, she's like, oh, he's of that age. And like, there's one point
I was like, what that means.
Well, I know, but there's one point I was like, what does that mean? He's of that age now. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's great. I love her. I love his sister so much. But
she's
yeah,
the best.
But like at the grave, cuz like Urabe like Tsubaki tells her and stuff, and Urabe's like, well, I want to like meet your mother and stuff, and so like she goes and stuff, and it's like it's really cute and stuff, and I like that episode a lot. It's a really good way to end the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they like it also ends with like a really like, it's open-ended. It's clear they're gonna be like continuing together, and they're cute together. They just be cute together.
They do. They work really well together. And I liked it a lot. All right. Well, is it time for final thoughts? I think
that is like the most awkward segue you've given right there.
Well, I think we're about at that time.
No, that's definitely where we be. I'm just giving you crap for that transition.
Look, man, I've had 4 shots and then almost two full drinks now. So I'm
had
in it.
Some number of shots. I don't know. 5-ish.
Okay. I'll let you go first because I want to know your thoughts first. Honestly, that's why I'm letting you go first.
I would never have watched the show on my own. Like, I had been given a very bad introduction to the show. And I'll admit, the whole, like, drool thing, kind of unsettling. Honestly, when you're watching the show, it's a little weird, and not the good way of weird. just sort of how quickly your brain is just like, oh yeah, that's normal, basic. You just get used to it, and that's weird. But if you can get past the premise being a little unsettling, this is a show about two people being adorable and learning how to respect each other's boundaries and growing as a couple, and I really, really appreciate that. I don't think I have much more to say than that. It's right. Cute. I'm a lonely-ass goblin of a man. And so watching these two, like, grow together and, like, figure out how to be the right kind of people for each other is just, it's food for the soul. It's put off a little bit by, again, the whole spit thing. The dream sharing is cool. The emotion sharing, really cool. The vehicle through which that happens, not for me. But that's like the one awkward spot on an otherwise really, really good show. I think, despite how many nice things I have to say about this,
I don't like that.
It's still not like up in the, like, way up of my ratings, though. Like, it's nothing crazy amazing. It's good. I think it's on the okay end of good. Before recording, I was talking to Seaweed, and I was like, yeah, you know, there's I was looking through my ratings because I wanted to compare where I'm going to put this, and I realized even though 6 is like my average, I have so many shows that I've dropped in the 7. It's like, if I like a show but don't have anything amazing to say about it, but it wasn't just like average or boring, it's a 7. And I think that's where this goes. It's a good show. I liked it. I would recommend it. But it's not a real enjoyable romp that I'd put in an 8. It's not something astounding that I'd put at 9 or 10. I think it's just your standard good show. I've given it a 7.
All right. Okay. Well,
better than the it's all right shows that I put in a 6.
That's
but
true.
Not the kind of 8 to 10 is probably the category of where I'm very likely to want to rewatch it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you, but I think at this point,
guess 10 out of 10.
No, it's not. No. Okay. So for me, I don't think I can separate this from like my quote unquote formative years of anime, right? Like, this was one of the first shows I have a lot of nostalgia for this show, and I'm willing to admit that. I know I do. But also, it's a very good show. I love this show to pieces. I love the characters. I love how they develop throughout. The animation is fantastic. Honestly, the drool thing, it doesn't really, obviously it doesn't do anything for me, okay, in that way. I just want to make that clear, okay?
Don't develop anything unsavory here, bud.
Yeah, I'm not developing any unsavory fetishes. But like the way the characters grow, like I think it's a good vehicle for that to be shown through like animation and stuff, or like through a story. I really like it a lot. It's one of those shows I like. At this point, honestly, it might be like a show I go back to like quite a few times, because as I was watching it, I just had such a fun time with it. Like, it was so easy to watch, and it like really like lifted my spirits a lot. Even like just watching these characters go through all this stuff, even though romance might not be like, man, might make me jealous at some points, you know. Oh boy. But you know, it's still it's a fun time. My score, though, it has not changed since I initially watched it, which I will say, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's what I rated it? That's weird. I didn't think I rated it as high as I did, but I understand why. And so I'm going to keep it. I think this is the first one I've actually stayed at the same one.
Yeah, you usually adjust it.
I do usually adjust it. This is gonna stay at a 9.
Okay.
It's a very good show. Like there's some like the whole drool thing. God, it's so weird. It's so weird, you know. But I don't know. Like I like the way it tells the story. And also, man, I'm gonna get so much shit about this from Court if he watches this episode. This is one of the few times where I can say I like a short-haired character because Urabe is fucking adorable. Oh my god, I love her design. I like all the designs. I think I just like thick hair. I think that's like because she has very thick hair, which I also do. But I don't know. I love this show. I can't. God. I'm just rambling at this point. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Highly, highly recommend. Please watch this show.
I'm gonna put an addendum on mine, and this is the same freaking addendum I've put on the last like 4 shows. You'd think I'd learn to adjust for it. I think I tend to initially undervalue a show. This does have potential of going to an 8. Yeah, I will see in the future, but for now it's staying 7 because I think I said the same thing about Cutie Honey and it stayed. It didn't go up, or did it?
That's a shame.
I don't remember. Either way, I say this a lot. I tend to be like, I'm gonna put it at this, but it might be one step up. So there we go. This one might be one step up. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
it's a good. I hope it goes up for you. But also, if it doesn't, I understand. Because this is a very different show, to say the least. All right, well, with that, though, what are we watching next week?
Next week?
Yeah, because I have no idea.
I'm going to preface this by saying, unless you shoot me down here, I'm planning to bend the rules a little bit. I think you'll be fine with it. But if for some reason you're like, no, this doesn't fit the theme of a shot of Weeb, and shoot me down, I'll edit this out. I'll pretend it didn't happen.
Okay.
I have a feeling you'll be down for it. There's something that I watched once, a long time ago. I remember watching it with my dad when I was really little. I would have been maybe 9 or 10. I checked the year this happened. I would have been 9 or 10 probably when I watched it, because I think it was a little bit after. And I remember enjoying it, but I remember very little of it, like, directly. I remember bits and pieces here and there, but I remember it stuck with me for a long time, even though I've never actually rewatched it.
Okay.
I would like to go back and watch for the first time in probably 10 or more years, Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay.
It bends the rules. It's not a series.
That's true. It's a movie. I am 100% okay with that. I
figured you would be.
It's been about 4 years, I think, since I've fully watched that movie. But I was in a Ghibli type of mood recently.
The only Ghibli movie that I have watched in the last, like, at least 5 years, if not more, was Spirited Away about 2 years ago.
Hey, that's a banger.
I've been needing to go back and rewatch a lot of these because I've never seen Mononoke, and last time I watched Howl's Moving Castle, I was a little kid.
See, I have watched every Ghibli movie.
Jeez, dude. I'll get there someday.
Yeah. But like, I'm totally down to do Howl's. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Let's go.
I suppose then we'll be here theoretically next week with our first anime movie review.
Yeah, let's go.
Castle.
I'm excited. I haven't watched this movie in so many years. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So, oh God. I'm so glad this is the one you chose.
And I had a backup in case you shot me down. But I suppose that's where we can wrap it this week. Honestly, I figure.
I guess this is the time where I do all of the.
We've already kind of shilled. I feel like we've shilled enough.
Yeah. Okay. Look, we got to shill more. You know. I'll do all the shilling as always.
Make your shilling fast. I want to go buy chicken.
All right. If you're listening to us on Anchor, go check us out on YouTube. We do videos, like we have webcams, face cams, stuff. Check us out there. And if you watch us on YouTube, go check us out on Anchor. If you want to take us portably, we're on actually every major podcast platform, I think. Basically, wherever you're listening to us, or wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us on, basically.
Whatever's most convenient for you.
Exactly. Oh God, man, the alcohol's hitting now. If you would like to support us, we do have ads running on Anchor, which does support us, give us a little bit of kickback. And we also have a donation page on Anchor. If you go to our main page there, you can donate to us. And if you do donate, just send me a screenshot on Twitter on that you donated. We'll shout you out. You know. No,
if you wish.
And you can do Wob too as well. Go follow us both on Twitter, where I'm pretty active. He's kind of active.
I'm working on it. He's
working on it.
I have a full-time, long hours job.
Yeah. And go follow me on YouTube. I post videos. Working on a bunch of stuff right now. So it should be pretty good. All of the links for everything will be in the description. If you're listening on Anchor, though, it will be the description of our YouTube page, which you can go back to find our Anchor page if you would like to donate. We're doing this for fun, though. It's completely a hobby. Don't feel the need to donate. We just want to give you guys some good laughs and stuff.
We want to shout our opinions into the void.
That's honestly, that's it. We don't really expect any kickback from this. So yeah, but if you do donate, thank you very much. And if you're listening, we really do appreciate you. We appreciate every one of you who listen, and comment, give us likes and all that stuff. It really means a lot. It really means a lot. I don't think we say that enough, but
we really don't. That is definitely a fair point. At this stage, there's still not even that many people that come through, but by golly, when someone does come through, we get a view on YouTube. We get another listener demographic on Anchor, and I'm like, yo, that is someone who listens to us.
Yeah. So every time we get a comment, too, we'll message each other to be like, yo, this guy commented, and it's great. And
I'll be in the middle of a shift at work, and I'll see John's gotten to me, and is like, oh, yeah, this guy left a comment about, like, what you said, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, we do want to show our appreciation for all that. So thank you very much. But I guess that's enough for our shilling. And so I guess we'll see you next week for Howl's Moving Castle. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And hopefully we'll have another excellent hype jam of pod racing for you next week. There we go.
We got through it. All right, guys. All right. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.